Hear a little bit about this circuit and two drivers who particularly are looking forward to the race. The winners of the first two races, Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna.
Well, I have good memories from Donington because I race here in other classes, Formula 4s, Super 4s, Formula 3s. I won here some races, and I also happen to have driven for the very first time a Formula 1 car in my career here at Donington, just a couple of days after the British Grand Prix back in 1983. It was a Williams then. So I have good memories, and I've been here testing a few occasions with the Formula 1, with Lotus, Renault, Lotus, Honda with active suspension. But it's been, I think, 5 years since I was here last, 5-6 years.
It's a kind of track where you can do almost what you want if you're leading the race, and it's a bit like Monaco. And but I think the race will be difficult also considering the weather, and if you need to stop for the tires because the pit lane is very narrow, and it's going to be a lot of stress during the race.
I always had tremendous good results in wet conditions or adverse conditions. Now, that doesn't mean that I like it, because as you know, as a driver, situations like those can really catch you, and it's very uncertain in this situation. I don't like that feeling. But looking at a different way, if conditions are stable and all nice, all predictable, Williams is well ahead and no hope, basically. That's what I feel. So in order that you can have some hope, you gotta have some question marks in it, whereby you get situations where you make a decision, and if you do it right, you get a big plus. If you do it wrong, too bad, you know. But in those conditions, then you have a chance. And if you're looking for not only a podium, but also victory, you need uncertainty, and hope you make better decision than the competition.
If the conditions are changing all the time, if dry or wet, I mean, that's a typical tactical race. That was a tactical race in Brazil, because we had no race on the wet in Brazil. I mean, almost no race. I mean, with a big storm, and then we had the pace car, and then only maybe 2 or 3 laps with the wet tires, and then they changed for the slicks. I don't call that a wet race. In this condition, it's more the tactical side, and I hope to be better than I was in Brazil.
It's a lot more difficult to overtake here than it is in Brazil.
Sure.
I don't know if it is as difficult as South Africa.
To take the good line, you must go as far as possible to the wide part of the corner. So you have the hairpin, very tight hairpin.
On the way down the hill?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have also maybe this corner, the corner after the pits,
yes,
where it's possible. Part of that, even at the end of the straight, I think it's going to be very, very difficult, because it's narrow and it's very tight corner. So if you have the car who is overtaken, being a little bit more in the middle of the road, then you have a bigger risk of having a crash.
You gotta take in consideration not only the technical aspect of a racing car, but also the character, the personality involved with you, its characteristics, and so on. It's a game, and you have to play the game considering all the ingredients.
Well, we're just about 25 minutes away now from the European Grand Prix. It's still very damp. It's a little bit brighter out there. It really was pouring with rain around about, well, between 9:30 and about 10:30 this morning. But the atmosphere here is building, and there is a big crowd considering those awful conditions. We've seen the Princess of Wales, and there's another interested fan in the pit area. King Hussein of Jordan there, and he's being guided around by Jackie Stewart, 3 times world champion back in 1969, 1971 and 1973. King Hussein of Jordan. The British flags are out, and there is the man they particularly hope would get his first ever Grand Prix victory. Damon Hill, second in the second Grand Prix of the season in Brazil. A very sensible and brilliant ride behind Ayrton Senna. And we can take an even closer look at this Donington circuit, 76 laps of this 2.5 mile track through the eyes of Damon Hill. He knows it so well from various stages of his single-seater career. This is the driver's view.
Okay, well the lap starts with Goddard's corner, and you can see the road drops down, so it's quite tricky to see the line, but it's very important to get a good exit out of there so that you're quick along the straight. And braking for Redgate corner very hard and very deep into the corner, braking into the corner a bit. Important to get a good exit now coming down the Carona curves, which are really the most exciting, spectacular part of the circuit, along with this corner coming up, which is the old hairpin, which is nothing like a hairpin. It's actually 5th gear in qualifying. Very fast indeed. So the fast, sweepy part of the circuit, really, this is, and that there on McLean's corner was the only bump on the circuit virtually. It's a very smooth circuit. Coppice corner, you cannot see the actual part of the track that I'm on now before you get to the corner, so it's totally blind. The car crosses over a crown in the road, which makes the cars dart across the track. Through the chicane, it's quite an easy chicane. You can't use the curbs, but have to accelerate hard. Traction is important. Brakes are very important at this part. The slowest part of the circuit, 2nd gear, and traction again is very important on the exit. This is where our traction control system really comes into play, and back to start another lap at Goddard's hairpin and over the start-finish line. And now from the driver's perspective, my head is bobbling about because of the aerodynamic buffeting. We're very much lower in the car, and that changes the view, and you can see that you cannot see the apex of the Carona curves just coming into that corner. Now you're diving down into a compression at the old hairpin, changing from left to right all the time, so the G-forces are throwing you across one way and then the other. Braking very deep now from McLean's. This is a bump. That's the only bump on the circuit, as I said. From the car point of view, that upsets it. You cannot see where to turn in. The curb is there. You're on top of it before you even turn in. And a bit of a chance to relax on the straight, but bracing yourself again for very heavy braking, down to 2nd gear. Over the curbs, the car is very much upset. We've a lot of kickback through the steering wheel. Nearly finishing the lap. Very important to get this corner right. It's very tricky. You can see all the people watching you there at the fence. It's like a zoo, and you're on display. Very important again, the last corner, the road drops away, difficult to see the apex, easy to lose the car, and that's just 2 laps at Donington, and this afternoon we've got 76 to complete.
Damon Hill's view, and I can tell you he's just left the pit area. Damon Hill, he's out on the circuit at the moment, under half an hour to go, feverish activity, great anticipation for this European Grand Prix. Let's enjoy the final build-up with our commentary team of Jonathan Palmer, who will be in the pit area, and James Hunt in the commentary box, as always alongside Murray Walker.